Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook, and let's start off looking at euro dollar. Well, last week we've ended up with this bullish harami, so we could see a bit more upside. The non-farms weren't the best of numbers that came out there, with a bit of a mixed result in the end. There was actually, through all those numbers, there was wage inflation, although the current employment data was not so good, but the overall unemployment number fell by 0.2 by 0.2, so a bit of a mixed bag. However, as suspected, I thought we might see a bit of a bounce on the euro, and we were seeing a bit more of a bounce than expected, in a sense. Now, where to from today? Well, I'm looking at above us. We've got the weekly pivot, which is not that far away now. We're sitting at 24.48, 58.68, about 15 pips away. We've got the weekly pivot. Now, I won't mind it running into that because we've got the daily pivot below us potentially. I say potentially because I haven't done a quick check on the numbers here. These pivots of mine, although maybe where it's closed on Friday, it wasn't too far away, shouldn't be too dissimilar. I've been having a bit of a problem with my pivots, madam, doctor. Actually, no, that's fine. It's not been hit on that either. So I've got an untouched pivot. Just checking below, which could create a bit of downside, but at the moment it's pushing up quite strongly. And as I say, that weekly pivot could well be the next sort of point to the upside, and if it breaks out, well, we've got the 30-minute 200 above. Let's just switch this. It'll be a few other figures. There's 100 this 60-minute 100 just above there, so same moving average, by the way, which could be a draw, or even that 60-minute 200 eventually, but whether they do that in a day would be a surprise, but we've been surprised by other things. So that's pretty much how we're sitting there, with the euro erring more in short term a little bit bullish, but longer term I'm still very wary of the currency pairing. The pound, managed to slip down through open, but so it's just about filling the gap. Well, it's filled an obvious gap there, pushing up also towards its weekly pivot at the moment, but maybe some rocky times. I'm looking at what's going on here. We've got 3 votes this week. I'll talk about it more. I'm going to do a big picture in a short while, but we've got 3 votes this week, and I do wonder whether we'll see it obviously postponed to the 3rd, or none of the other get votes, and then we get an extension, and the extension may be longer than people may expect, and that in turn will take the heat off the pound, and we could see a rally this week. We'll see. As each vote happens, as the first deal is unlikely to get voted through, because it sounds like it was the same as the last deal, which didn't get voted through. Second deal is the no deal, getting that voted through. Once that's been taken off the table, the pound should rally, and then the third is extension, which a lot of people may see that as a positive aspect. We'll see. Now, it could be completely wrong, but it almost signifies that at some point this week this pound may rally. Right, so where to? Well, we've got daily pivot above as the near term, and then there's the weekly pivot following through there. So the potential for rallies today, even daily pivot, and then in the next day or so, that weekly pivot would be quite a good sign. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, it's reversed around a little bit, risk on, risk off. Risk is back on. So as such, money is coming back off that yen. What we saw last week running into the yen is moving away. Back towards the weekly pivot as I talk. We're not far away from that. Where next? Already through the daily. It could drift on upwards. It's just short of that weekly pivot, with the 50 MA coming in as resistance short term, but if we see more of what we're seeing at the moment, I would expect it to be pushing back to the upside there. Fundamentally, the yen is still weak. It's just it's being used as was being used as a safety currency. Aussie dollar, it's really following a lot of the other currencies here. Obviously didn't have the big sell-off that Euro had there last week, but still sold off, bounced on Friday, seeing a little bit of a bounce at the moment into its weekly. Do I want to intratrade it, day trade it? Not really, but those that are swinging may look at it a bit more positively, but overall I think it's a flawed currency at the moment. Its dependency on China, etc., not great, so it may be that it pitches up somewhere that you may actually want to sell it. Maybe that 4 hourly 50. Okay, that's the Aussie. Canadian dollar, again not an intraday pairing for me, but just looking at them where we are at the moment and what we may come over the next day or so. Seeing a little bit of strength on Friday there, as expected with the other pairings. Strength against the US dollar. We've got the opportunity for it to come down towards that weekly pivot maybe early this week. It was slow last week, and well, it may resume in business as usual, as in slow, but we'll see. The figures weren't particularly good for it last week overall, but Friday's US data and its own figures were okay, so perhaps we've got more downside here. As I say, short-term weekly pivot seems more obvious. Okay, news-wise today, you've got core retail sales coming out at 12:30, not 1:30 as normal from the US. 12:30 because they've clicked an hour forward. So we're only 4 hours difference at the moment for Eastern time, and then we got at 1 o'clock we got a UK speaker, MPC speaker, due to speak at the University of Birmingham. Probably won't do too much then. Right, have a great day. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye for now.